you a student, mentor, or parent that loves robotics? Then you're in the right place. Up-to-date info on all things robotics. This is the Robozone Podcast with your host, Pete Ekman. The Robozone Podcast is brought to you by Kettering University. It's a Kettering-built world.
Hello and welcome to the 14th episode of the Robozone Podcast. This podcast is for Tuesday, April 25th, 2017. In this week's podcast, we catch up with a couple more interviews from the Michigan State Championships with Lauren Plant and staff from Robozone TV. In addition, we have a roundtable discussion with Metal Muscle and Trucktown Thunder mentors and myself. And finally, we get ready for Worlds. For all those teams that are going to Worlds, we wish y'all the luck in the upcoming competition this coming weekend. So let's get to the interviews.
Hey guys, I'm with Wolfert. He's going to be a game announcer for the final competition. So you have to be charismatic, you have to have fun. Tell me what goes through your head when you're calling those games.
Honestly, nothing. It's all in my eyes and out my mouth. Like, you can't really think about what you're saying. A lot of it's just muscle memory, but it's all about really just amping up the energy and making memories for people.
Yeah, how many years have you been doing this?
I actually started game announcing when I was in 2015, and I've been volunteering since 2012, but it really wasn't until I did an internship with the Detroit Red Wings on the game presentation side of things that I saw how I could bring those skills into F.I.R.S.T and really improve the game. So
that's awesome. And you know I can't let you go without asking, who do you think is going to win today?
Ooh, that is a rough question, but I think our Consumers Energy field has some really strong players on it. So I think 9-10 and the Thunder Chickens really have something to offer.
Hey guys, I'm here with Preston, and Preston, you have a pretty intense job today. You're judging, or you're reffing, so tell me what goes into that.
Sorry?
What goes into that? What do you look for when you're looking at this competition?
So we have to call a couple different rules here. The rule book is actually really thick, but a lot of the common penalties are robots in the wrong zone at the wrong time, and interference between robots, you know, if they're pinning each other on the wall, or human player violations as well. So it's really fun. You get like the best seat in the house, front row. Yeah, it's an amazing job.
Yeah, I know refs usually get a bad rep. You got to make all the tough calls. How are the first people on you? Are the students easy on you, or they go pretty hard?
Yeah, so they're all extremely respectful. It's a core tenet of F.I.R.S.T with the gracious professionalism, and they're always, like I said, extremely respectful. We can't look at any review footage, so if we don't see a call, sometimes we miss things. You know, we're all human, but we do our best, and we have a really great crew here at the state competition too. We've got a lot of experienced folks, so we get pretty much everything, I think.
Well, that's awesome. We'll keep up the good work. It's back to you guys.
450 teams competed this season all across the state, the most ever. A record 160 teams competing at these state finals. 96 advanced to the quarterfinals. Here's a recap. The four divisions, pretty evenly matched, but several of our top teams clustered in the Dte Division, which is where we start. The final saw the first-seeded Red Alliance, captained by the Killer Bees, Team 33, along with 28-34 Bionic Blackhawks and the Los Guerrillas 469. They were taking on the 6-seeded Blue Alliance, the Hall of Famers Hot Team 67, joined by 2960 Automation Nation and 1684 Chimeras. In Finals Match 1, the Hot Alliance scores 3 gears on Autonomous. Killer Bees shoot 20 balls in Auto versus 6 for Blue. 33 follows with 13 more fuel points. In the end, a tech foul against Blue widens the gap for a red win. In Finals Match 2, 33 shoots 23 in Auto. Blue Alliance scores 3 gears again in Auto. Both sides achieve all 4 rotors. 33 scores more balls, but Red leads going into Endgame. Chimeras miss the hang for Blue. That's it. Red wins, and the top seeds are the Dte Division champs.
Hey guys, we're having a lot of fun, man. 500 points. Bionic Blackhawks are here coming off of a big finals win. How'd you guys do that?
Well, I mean, it was really just getting the 4 rotors. We were so close. I didn't think we were going to make it at the end, but we just barely got those. And then the Bees had an amazing shooting auto. That really contributed to the 500 points that we got.
Talk about the alliance and the symmetry you guys have right now.
Oh, it's amazing. Both our partners are doing great. 469's been playing amazing defense. They've been getting gears like crazy. We've been getting a lot of gears. Bees have that amazing shooter. It's just all working together exactly how we want it.
To Ford Field we go. 14 of 19 matches saw the 4-rotor bonus, and the final saw the underdog 8 seeds in red still in it. Torque 2137, Frog Force 503, and Ice Cube 4970 up against the blue second seed Zebrotic 6075, Strike Force 2767, and the Titanium Tigers 5114. In finals match 1, the 8th Alliance decided they could win the gears versus fuel battle but neglected to defend. Blue able to get the 4-rotor bonus, adding 41 kPa from 2767, Blue wins. In finals match 2, Strike Force appeared to damage their shooter, forced to run gears. They got all 4 rotors, but a clutch 12th gear delivered by Frog Force, followed by 3 climbs, gave Red the victory. The tiebreaker saw the Red Alliance with a 68-point lead out of Otto, but unable to turn that into 4 rotors. Strike Force stole a couple of gears, got all 4 rotors spinning. The number 2 Blue Alliance, your Ford Division champions.
And I am here with Hannah Ferguson, Titanium Tigers, Team 5114. Just quickly talk about 507. What?
Yeah, that was crazy, this match. I think that the strategy that we chose was a perfect strategy. We tried it before, but I mean the pressure points is now the most important thing at this point. Once you get the rotors, once you get the climbs, it's all down to the pressure points, and I don't think really anybody saw that coming.
Quickly, how confident are you guys right now?
Pretty confident. We have our strategy down, and I think we couldn't have asked for a better team.
All right, good luck the rest of the way.
To the Consumers Energy Field, where we had the number 1 Alliance sweeping their way to the finals, and the second seeds fell to number 6, who advanced. So, we had the 1 seed Reds, captained by Thunder Chickens 217, their partners the Foley Freeze 910, and Team Lancebot 4237. The Blues 6 seeds, led by Bravebots Team 4391, along with Bob 85 and the Charge 2619. In finals match 1, the Blue Alliance came flying out of the gate, delivering all 3 gears and autonomous. Red recaptured the lead and held it until Blue scored their 4th rotor in the final moments to win. In finals match 2, Blue once again scored all 3 gears, but 217 and 910's autonomous fuel plus a quick teleout gear put him in front. However, a last-second penalty caused the lead to switch. Blue wins by 2 points to clinch the championship, the 6 seeds in the Final 4. And finally, we check out the Dte Energy Division. Here's who we saw in the finals. The first-seeded Red Alliance consisted of the Engineers 2337 and Team Robotics 107 and Raider Robotics 5561. The Blues were 3 seeds. The Captain Like a Boss 5509 with help from the Adams family 4405 and Feds 201. In finals match 1, Red led late until 5561 takes a hard hit from 201. That's a tech foul on Red for contact inside the opposing loading station. But 2 other penalties on Blue culminates into both alliances penalized. Blue gets a yellow card. In the end, however, a Blue victory. In finals match 2, the Reds' defensive strategy works for the most part. The Blue Alliance gets 3 rotors. Red has 2 and 50 kPa. All 6 spots hang. The Red Alliance victorious. The tiebreaker, wild. 5561 playing some heavy defense. 2337 reaches 48 kPa for bonus, but then loses power after a hard hit. During endgame, only 1 Red robot can hang, and Blue gets 2. The Blue Alliance has won the DTE title. Hold the phone. One of the Blue bots made contact with 2337, which means Red gets a free climb, and the penalty for contact completely flips the script. The number 1 Red Alliance, Dte Energy Division champions. Wow.
About time we finally get the chance to check out the Engine Nerds, and they're getting it done. And we talked about shooting so far today a lot, and they were convinced that that was going to get the win. You guys did it a lot. Josh, talk about that strategy and the efficiency you guys have getting in the hopper.
So we walked in there, and basically our autonomous would get the best start. You know, that first 15 seconds, we can end up with 30 kPa, and that's a humongous advantage over our opponents. After that, we just go for 40 and then try to hold them on D, and then they just can't beat us if they don't get 4 rotors.
So our Consumers Energy winner, 4391, 85, and 2619, coming from the 6th seed, will face off against our Ford Field winner, 6075, 2767, and 5114, the match we just watched. The sneaky 4th rotor there from them. And on the other side of our bracket, we've got our Dow Field winner. That was the 33, 2834, and 469 Alliance. They'll be facing off against our GTE winner, 2337, 107, and 5561.
And so the format is the same. So what we're looking at here, it will take 2 wins to advance to the finals on each side, and then 2 wins in the finals to be our state champions here in 2017.
Welcome back to Robozone. The reason F.I.R.S.T Robotics in Michigan rocks more than any other state is because of the investment from our state. They are the sole reason for the exponential growth we've seen. $2.5 million a year makes F.I.R.S.T accessible to all schools. Governor Rick Schneider is the one who introduced support to the legislature, and he never misses the state championships.
Talk about the fact of how much fun this is for you just being here.
Oh, this is awesome. This is one of my favorite days of the year. I think it's wonderful. If you look at these kids, the parents, everyone's having a wonderful time. And what a topic to learn about STEM education, robotics. They're going to have bright futures, and this is going to help propel them in the future even faster.
Yeah. And we talk about it all the time on our TV show, Robozone, is the fact that this thing just keeps growing and growing. We've got 450 teams in Michigan now. This is amazing.
Yeah, we've been leading the nation, but we're not going to stop. I set a goal to pass 500. So we want to keep going because it's fundamentally changing our state. We've got over 10,000 high school kids in this program today. And if you look at it now, you can meet coaches and mentors that were in this program that have gone off to get engineering degrees, success in their careers, and they want to give back. Think about what will happen in 10 and 20 years as young people get through this.
Yeah. And I think what's so important is the state's commitment to supporting these schools, because a lot of them will want to start and they're like, how do we even start? Where do we come? But the state has not just financial backing, but through F.I.R.S.T of Michigan, has the support from start to finish.
Well, absolutely. I got hooked when I came to my first state championship a few years ago. You can hear this place. It was absolutely incredible. So we put dollars aside in the state budget to help propel the success, and it's gone so well. The World Championships are coming to Detroit for the next 3 years.
That was going to be my next question. How excited are you for that?
It's awesome. I'm actually going to go down to St. Louis for a day so we can make sure we can learn from that to make sure the Detroit experience starting in 18 is going to be the best. They're going to use Ford Field. They're going to use Cobo. Think about the size. Already in Saginaw, they filled up all the hotel rooms with people coming to this. It's great.
Yeah, it really is great. Thanks for your continued support of everything that's going here. I know the kids love it. And, these are our future leaders right here.
Absolutely. And they're getting the best experience you can. They're learning from mentors, role models. These companies want to hire these young people. Being at Saginaw Valley is great. They want to get them in their programs. It's a win for everyone. But I do want to thank Saginaw Valley. They've got over 400 volunteers here today helping out.
Governor, thank you.
All right, that was fun. We've got more trivia coming up a little later in the show. Right now, we move exclusively to Dow Field for the remainder of the championships. Who will be the last 2 alliances standing competing for bragging rights in the state? Let's find out. Here are the semis. Let's break down our semifinals combatants. The Dow Division champs consisted of teams 33, 28-34, and 469. Their philosophy? Score 20-plus points of fuel in auto plus get a gear. Get 4 rotors quickly, then switch to defense to prevent their opponents from doing the same. The Consumers Energy Field champs were teams 26-19, 43-91, and 85. They believe score a gear in auto plus knock off 10 preloaded shots. Run gears and get your 4 rotors. The Dte Energy champs were made up of teams 23-37, 107, and 55-61. This alliance focused on defense. They ran no gears after auto. 23-37 shoots 25-plus balls in auto. Other 2 members strictly on defense. The Ford Field winners contain teams 60-75, 27-67, and 51-14. Now, they could also sometimes score 3 gears in auto for an extra 20 points. 27-67 had one of the best shooters. This group set an event high score of 507 in the Ford Division playoffs. Here we go. In semifinals 1, the Blue Alliance representing Ford Field taking on Consumers Energy Sporting Red. In match 1, Strike Force cannot lock on in auto, no shots. Red shoots only 4 balls. Blue scores 12 gears for 4 rotors. Red struggles to keep up. Blue wins 470 to 260. Whoa, Nelly. In match 2, still no shots from Strikeforce and Otto. Red scores 3 balls, blue scores all 3 gears for 20-point advantage. Now both sides achieved 4 rotors and all robots hung. Initial advantage from Otto carries, blue wins 465 to 448. The Ford Alliance is in the title tilt.
Now in the finals, how pumped are you?
I'm super pumped.
Yeah, tell me what your strategy was going into the final game.
Going into the final game, we were going for 4 rotors as fast as possible. We had good scouting on the other teams, knowing they couldn't shoot as much, so we had to be faster and climb more.
And you're a pretty new team. This is only your 2nd year, so is this the farthest you've got so far?
Yes, we made it to Worlds last year, but this is the farthest we've ever made in a tournament.
At first, we were hoping to do our high shot for Auton, but unfortunately, we're working on that right now. So we switched over to our auto gear so we can get those extra points.
We hadn't had a chance to talk to you earlier, so tell me about your alliance and why it's been working.
So we wanted 1 shooter, 1 defender, and a very good gear runner. Well, actually a mix of 2 gear runners. And so we got a good combination between the 2, and they really help produce enough points and are very efficient. We're good communicators with each other, and we're just bonding as each match goes on.
In semifinals 2, the Dow champs in red taking on the Dte Energy winners in blue. In match 1, the Engineers shoot 25 for blue versus 22 for Killer Bees. Blue with a 3-point lead after Otto. In Teleop, blue puts 55, 61, and 107 on full defense, while 23-37 continues to fire. Doesn't work. Red with 12 gears completed, all robots hang. Red wins 500 to 357. In match 2, Autonomous ends 103 to 97, blue in the lead. Then blue attempts to block the red airship by sending 107 and 55-61 for almost the entire match. Engineers keep shooting and achieve the pressure bonus. Red struggles with the remaining open peg, which is damaged. Blue leads going into the endgame, but 107's hanging device stalls. Blue only gets 2 hangs. Red wins 304 to 287. The Dow Red Alliance into the finale.
It's just been crazy today. I mean, everything's been going as well as it could, knock on wood. But last match was a little insane, but that was some good strategy played.
Yeah, and that is really the thing, too. It's like you don't want to jinx it, right? But things really have been going well for you guys. Tell me why you guys have what seems to be a almost unbeatable strategy.
I don't know. Bees are really good at shooting, and they can cycle a couple of gears, and then Blackhawks do their thing and cycle, and we're a fast cycler. So we can get those 4 rotors pretty easily, and then Bees can shoot to give us kind of like a safety blanket. So it's pretty good.
So our championship match is all set now, and wow, if you just watching what we saw in the semifinals, we know that these teams are loaded with firepower and the ability to score points. So they know what they do well. They're not going to change what they do best. So we're going to see a lot of scoring here in this championship match.
And match 1 should be offense against offense, strength against strength, and then we'll see who loses, what they're going to do to adjust afterwards. One interesting thing that's happening here is because of the way that the seeding works when we come to this one field with our 4 divisional winners, the Dow Division teams that have been playing on this field all day have been the Red Alliance all day. They are now the Blue Alliance.
Yeah.
And the other alliance had been playing blue in the semifinal. They are now red. So I don't know if that's going to maybe throw off their auto modes at all, if that's going to maybe throw off their drivers at all, but it is a change to note.
It is finished. The state finals have ended. Jim, congratulations.
Thank you, Lauren. It's tremendous.
I mean, this is amazing. Your former team is part of the alliance. What, did we rig something here?
Yeah, it almost looks that way, but no collusion.
Yeah, no collusion whatsoever. They wouldn't think of that. No, seriously. Talk about just quickly your run through this day, because it was impressive.
It was a great run. We really had a great trio of teams all filling their parts in, but we went undefeated all the way through 10-0 through the playoffs, winning the Dow Division Championship and moving on to win the Michigan State Championship. It was really great. Las Gorillas really throwing down the defense, and Bloomfield Hills 28-34 running more gears. That's why they were #1 pick, running more gears than anybody else here in qualifying. We picked them, backing us us up. And again, in a couple of the matches, us, the Killer Bees, the fuel bonus, the autonomous 25 points in fuel, really sealing the deal in a couple of those matches.
Yeah, you watched it, Dan. I mean, that was something to see.
Yeah, for sure. We found out, I think, that Steamworks is a team-oriented game. And when you want to win at a high level, you need all three members of the team executing their prescribed role. And that's what we saw with the Winning Alliance.
Yeah, and we saw all throughout the day different strategies, to success and a lot. But in the end, we kind of said this in the beginning of the season, it was going to come down to shooters.
Yeah, again, we got 4 rotors in every match but 1. Again, at the highest levels, if you have 3 robots that can all run gears, then you need a shooter on your alliance to really break those ties. But really, getting the 4 rotors, 140-point bonus, really one of the keys to victory.
Well, guys, hey, thank you. It has been a great season of Robozone. We will be back next year. Good luck at Worlds. And guys, continue to talk to us on social media, all that stuff. Maybe we'll do some more extra stuff. We got a lot of stuff in the works. And remember, World Championships right here in Detroit next year. So for Dan, for Jim, I'm Lauren. We'll see you next season.
Thank you. This is the Robozone podcast. This is episode number 14 and the last one of the F.I.R.S.T regular season, including the state championships. I have on the line with me tonight John Wolfert and Don Ridge from Metal Muscle, and I have Andrew Spieces. So how are you guys feeling tonight?
Feeling good. Ready to get to Worlds.
Ready to get to Worlds. So let's start off this podcast and this roundtable discussion about states. We are all at states. That was 2 weeks ago. It was an event. First time we were at Saginaw Valley State University. I thought it was pretty cool. You guys agreed? Did you guys like the facility that we had?
This is John. Yeah, the facility was great. The fields were great. The coordination of movement of people and bots needed a little more work, but the facility was absolutely wonderful. The speaker system worked great, and the refs, and they kept everything moving quickly. I was impressed for the first time there.
You agree, Don?
For the most part, yeah. The first day, for all the practice matches was painful because they kept trying new things and moving robots and people around. They finally got it working as best as they can with that facility. So, yeah, it was a heck of a lot better than the Deltaplex, though. So no knock there.
And just before Andrew asked you, I was rude and I didn't say Trucktown Thunder after I said Andrew Spieces, but I think we all know who Andrew Spieces is by now. I mean, the man, the legend, right?
I don't know about
that. So what'd you think?
Hey, I'll go with it.
What'd you think, Andrew, about Saginaw Valley?
I thought it was awesome. Overall, the fields were great. There were a few kinks on when you were coaching or when you were playing on the field. Which noises you're supposed to listen to, right? The fields were a little close, but that's all right. We worked it out as Michigan. We can battle through anything, right? One thing that I really liked about the event was what I love about Michigan is they let us play, and it's hard to define what that means when it comes to coaching and when it comes to playing on a field or playing in a game. But when you're playing soccer or when you're playing football, you feel that where the referees are letting you play, and that's what I felt like happened on our field. Mark Garber was our head ref. I won't comment on what team he's from originally, but he might have been on that Team 68 team. But anyways, he was our head ref on DTE, and he was just awesome. It really felt like we were let to play, but yet we followed the rules. The only downside to that is when you get out to the World Championships, you get refs from all over the world. So really paying attention to the rules and watching that is going to be key when you transition to the World Championship, because the referees are going to be different at Worlds. Have your questions ready and make sure that they're aware of kind of how we play at Michigan. It's not played the same everywhere in the world.
Right. And the only thing I could add to that is I think that we had enough room as far as the pits are concerned and the people that displayed things like Dow and Consumers Energy. It was a really nice, comfortable feeling. And when you're watching the matches, not so much got a little cramped there during not necessarily during qualifying, but when it got to playoffs, it was a little cramped in there for people. Don't you guys agree?
Yeah. One thing I would point out is having it at Saginaw Valley. It was a huge opportunity for students to go check out that college. It was really great. Those first couple of days, classes were in session. So if you you took any of your kids and walked down some of the hallways and tried to find a food court, it was really neat. The kids got to walk past the college class actually happening in person, which I thought was really, really cool. I'm not sure they'll continue that next year, but it was really awesome for the kids to do that. We ended up finding a food court a little farther away from the venue that were all ready for us, and they were excited to have us. So it was really great to really have. It felt like a campus style. I mean, obviously they've got some kinks to work out for next year. Hopefully we stay there. The pits look like they could hold, even if they took that turf out, they could hold another 50 teams in there easily. So it looks like we may have some room to grow there. I'm not sure if there's any way we can expand the actual arena area where we have all the fields. But we definitely have room to grow there too.
John and Don. John, I'll ask you this one first. How did you guys team fare at States?
We did well. We had issues on the first day for qualifications and everything. And the second day we lost our first one, then went 7 straight.
That's
and so
nothing to complain about, right?
No, not at all. Everything came together when it should have came together, and so we did well. We were the fourth ranked team on our field. And what was a little strange is none of the seeded teams picked any of the other seeded teams.
Yeah, that was a little different. I've not seen that before, but it seemed unusual. But yeah, fourth ranked alliance, so it worked out well. We made it through qualifications and met the Thunder Chickens and Foley Freeze as a team in the semifinals, and the defense was quite incredible. So it was we were unable as an alliance to overcome that.
So, Don, explain a little bit more about seeded teams not picking seeded teams. I think that's pretty obvious for people that are veterans in robotics, but some people may not understand that if they're just listening to this and are a little more younger in their knowledge for FIRST. So, can you explain a little bit more?
Well, yeah, sure. The top 8 ranked teams are alliance captains, and the way the round serpentine rankings go, the first ranked team gets the first pick, and on down through the 8th team. So a lot of times you'll see the first ranked team pick the number 2 ranked team to join their alliance, or they'll pick the number 3. There's a lot of interpicking between the top 8, and then number 9. So if number 1 picks number 2. Number 2 joins the number 1 alliance, and then everyone else moves up a spot. And the number 9th ranked team then becomes an alliance captain and has an opportunity to put together their own alliance. So it's a good way for some of the teams that are just outside of the top 8 to still become alliance captains and still, get to direct their own team or their own alliance, so to speak. I've only been in FIRST I'll say 2.5 years, because although my son's been in 3, I joined as a mentor halfway through the first one. I've not seen it. Nobody pick. Somebody has always picked. One has always picked someone else. Not necessarily 2, sometimes 3 or 4, but someone has always picked someone else. I was quite frankly a little thrown. I didn't expect that to happen.
And just so you guys know, it's not an odd thing that happened, because I'll tell you, on the Dow field, which I was on the Dow field, 494 was second, actually tied with 33 for first and second, but I think there was something that made 494 go to second. I can't remember it, and I'm not going to say something that's false, because I'll get a comment back saying, oh, it was this, Pete. But 494 chose 70, because we know what the other bot does, and it's our sister, right? So we all know who better to play with than your sister or brother, however you want to name it. We know each other's tendencies. But on the Dow field, we even had rookie teams that were in the top 5. So, we wanted to position, not that we didn't want to play with a rookie team, we just want to position ourselves, to play for a championship. So we 494 chose 70, and that was 70 at the time was 39th. So I mean,
oh, wow.
it was a huge. Everyone was like, "What's going on?" And then we got accused of sandbagging. We heard people say, did 70 sandbag so you guys could pick each other? Nope. We actually played. It's just 70, was on the unlucky side of getting some alliance partners that didn't pull their weight. Andrew, how did your team fare at States?
First off, I think the comment on that is, I think that just tells you the depth, the strength of robots you have at the Michigan State Championship. We ended up ranked, I think, 21st after qualification. We ended up getting picked up by the number 8 alliance. So we had some trouble at the beginning. Coming off of Marysville, we were doing really well. We were our hope for high, but our climb just decided to say, you know what, it's not going to act right at States. So we were low in a lot of climbing percentage, and that really killed us when picking. So we had many alliances tell us that they would have picked us if, right? We had a lot of that. So we ended up 8th alliance. We had our hardest match, very first one out, tried to beat 23-37. I think Clint would agree we were probably one of the toughest matches they had the entire qualifications. We were one gear short from beating them in match 2. We beat them in the first match. We were 1 gear short in match 2, and then they came out and beat us in match 3. So I think it really, like, anybody could have won that, right? I think we saw that in our field, Clint, his decisions to make on the 23-37, decisions they make to play defense and shoot really does work. Keeping people under 4 rotors is possible. It was tough for us. We're a strong gearbot, and I believe that they held us really well. So kudos to them. They earned it. But hopefully, we've redesigned our whole shooter, or our whole climber for Worlds, and hopefully we'll be up and going and climbing every time. We tested our climber last night, climbed 25 times consistently without any flaws and taking it at different angles. So hopefully we'll be all set for the World Championships.
So John, I want to build a little bit more on the state championships, and then we'll move on to Worlds. This will be the last question I ask you guys for state championships. What do you think we learned at state championships, that'll help us? All of our teams are going to Worlds. That's one of the common things we have with the panel tonight. So what do you think we learned at state championships? Because it's the top of the cream of the state of Michigan, which has the most teams in the United States, or for that factor, the world for F.I.R.S.T. So what do you think we learned at states that can help us all at Worlds?
Boy, I think most of us already know this, that as you move further into qualifications and into elimination rounds, you need to get 4 rotors, or you need to get the 40 KPAs as an on your alliance and stuff. Those are the ones that are going to have an advantage. The other thing is, as you get deeper into the qualifications and it gets more important to win, and then into the elimination rounds, defense comes in really, really important. And you have to, keep that in mind and stuff. So you just have to know, have a strategy that, moves you forward. You need the 4 rotors, or you need the 40 KPA.
And you agree with him, Don?
Yeah. Defense in Michigan, especially at the state finals and the elimination rounds, defense was huge. And watching some of the Houston qualifications and the Houston finals, defense wasn't as prevalent. So I think all the top Michigan teams are going to be better suited to go into Worlds having faced tough defense through the state, especially at the state championships and especially in the qualification and the elimination rounds. So yeah, and I think the shooting robots can be beat with some defense and 4 rotors. So they're not there's definitely a strategy out there to beat them. So I think 4 rotors and heavy defense can still win.
And Andrew, we did a little talking before we started this podcast, but you said that you got your division at Worlds, which we're going to here in St. Louis this coming week, is a little heavy with shooting teams, right? Shooting bots. So how are you going to plan to defend that, just so that you can get your bot into that alliance selection?
So the one thing I learned from the Houston Championship is that and assuming it goes the same way, shooting bots are king, because every single one of those finals matches went over 500 points, right? We're pushing 500 points. I saw a match where someone scored 522 points and lost, right? So 40 KPA and the 4 rotors is what the championship teams were doing. So if you can slow them down by playing defense, it's going to be really tricky when you have a robot going 18 feet per second. Those robots were really, really quick. So it's going to be really interesting to see the difference between the two championships, because there are a lot of stronger teams, and it's really weighted heavy towards St. Louis, with VEX championships being this last weekend, and a lot of teams choosing to go to St. Louis, such as 254 and 148 coming out to St. Louis due to the fact of the VEX championship. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that makes a difference, and how defense is going to play in the game, right? So it's going to be really interesting to see how St. Louis plays out. Now on our field, we've got 33, 195, 125, and 2451 are all teams that I've scouted that are strong shooters. All of them could get 40 KPA in the autonomous period themselves. So they've done it in matches in the past. So it's going to be really interesting to see how I can form our robot to be complementary to theirs. So what we saw at the championship in Houston is you saw both the number 1 and number 2 alliances on Einstein both had 2 strong shooters that could do close to 40 KPA as the first 2 robots. But yeah, it still had plenty of game elsewhere, right? So that's going to be really interesting to see if that's the same and if that plays out well here. So that makes my burden huge, because I've got to be my gearing and my complementary things that I do on the field has got to be complementary to those top shooters, right? So if I want a top shooter to pick me, right, the number 1 alliance, if I'm looking to be that guy that the number 1 alliance picks, or assuming I'm not the number 1 alliance, because obviously that's what we're going to go for, right? But assuming I'm not the number 1 alliance and I want to be picked by the number 1 alliance, I've got to be really complementary to them. So some things we've done is we want to make sure that we're the number 1 gearing robot on our field. There you go, hands down. Like, we never miss a gear. We're consistent in getting 4 to 5 gears per match, and then being able to show off the things that we can be complementary. So what we did was we set up one of our Auton modes to be able to shoot our 10 extra fuel in Auton out of the way of the other shooters that are shooting for the KPA, right? So what that does is say, okay, if they only hit 32 to 36 KPA and we hit 6 of our 10, we get that 40 KPA in Auton, and we don't have to worry about it. The rest of the match, we go after gears, right? So it's really going to come down to how well we can show that off, and that we stand out so much in a gearing robot that we are really desirable as that gearing robot. So that's kind of us going into that. That's what we're thinking.
All right, let's expand the discussion about Worlds. We're going to Worlds, right? This is actually my first time in St. Louis. First time in St. Louis. This is the last year St. Louis is hosting it. We're going to be in Motor City next year, which all of us that are here in Michigan, it's local. It's like our backyard, right? So we want to show off our bots and take home a world championship. At least in my mind, we want to, so that when teams come here next year, they have to grab it from us, right? Because having a world championship in your backyard is something you want. John, the question for you I have is, the bots you already know that are in your division, and we're all in separate divisions. We talked a little bit about that before our discussion tonight. So the people that you know are already in the division, so you're really going to be scouting the people you don't know, correct? You're going to have to get to know those bots to make sure that you know what your opposition is there, rather than Michigan bots, right?
Well, I'm going to answer your question a little indirectly. I'm going to let Don talk about the scouting and his son's a captain and what he's done to, for pre-scouting and stuff like that and things, because I think it's really, really, really cool. But yeah, you know, there's so many of those we don't know. But the important thing is that the kids enjoy themselves. This is the last one in St. Louis. St. Louis has the Arch. It has a city museum. It has a lot of things that are really cool to see. So Don will talk about what we're doing to kind of free some kids up on Thursday so they can go enjoy that or go to some of the conferences and stuff like that and learn more and bring back more knowledge for next year. Because we don't only look at this for this year as to, what we're competing with. We're looking at this as how do we get our younger kids more involved and at the top of the game next year. Now, Don will talk about the scouting stuff because I think it's really cool what they've done.
Well, so with that, for scouting, the nice part is we got the preliminary match schedules, and we also have who is in our divisions, also subject to change, of course. But so what we did was, and this isn't new to us, we got this from other good teams, learn and steal from the best, so to speak. We went and divided up amongst all of our scout team. Each one got 10 robots to go look at in our division, and we did all the preliminary match scouting we can of all these 67, 68 teams in our division. And we went and looked at if they were in any final matches, what were their last couple matches that they played, because we wanted to see, where is the robot at coming into Worlds, right? How are they playing coming into Worlds? Not how they started the season out at. So we went and did all that match scouting and watched a lot of video. The kids watched a lot of videos. And we did that so we can have a better handle as to how to attack and see what our alliances are going to be and who we're with, who we're going to be against, and walk into St. Louis with a game plan, strong game plan, we feel, to start out with. And as John also said, we did all this pre-scouting so we can give our youngest team members, our scouters, we wanted to give them Thursday off. We wanted to not have them tied to the seats Thursday doing match scouting. So some of the parents are going to do some match scouting for us on Thursday. We'll watch some more video, obviously Thursday night. But we're letting the kids go and enjoy and explore all that Worlds has to offer. I mean, there's a ton of conferences, the Innovation Fair, all that St. Louis has to offer, being at the World Championship. So we're going to let the kids go and explore and have the day Thursday to see and learn and do everything they can. And then, right back at it Friday, full match scouting Friday. And hopefully we're in a position to be either an alliance captain, or we can take our scouting and help our alliance get the best picks.
And I have to hand it to you guys to do that and to let the kids have a little bit more fun. I agree with what you said, John. And going to Worlds it's cake, right? The Michigan State Championships is the focus for each of our teams because we live in Michigan. Going to Worlds is nice to go to, and we all earned our way to get there, which was no easy task. But in order the kids have to enjoy themselves, or they'll get burnt out. And I give you guys a lot of credit for doing that. I know we're going up a day early so that we can do the same thing. Once competitions start, we're ready to try to take home a world championship. So
yeah, don't get me wrong. We're all focused on winning.
Oh no, I understand.
And try to get the championship also. But we wanted to make sure the kids had a full enriching experience while they were there.
And like I said, I've only been to St. Louis a couple times in my life, and it's never been with robotics, so I'm going to be taking it all in. It'll be pretty cool. Andy, what is your focus for? You said you had a lot of Michigan teams. You already know those guys, right? So you're going to have to scout the teams that you don't know, correct? Are your team already doing that now?
Yeah, we sat down about, I don't know, 5 or 6 scouters Saturday with me. We watched matches all day long. We, like I said, we make a game plan. We actually print out a little, spreadsheet, and we keep track of each one of our matches and going in with a game plan beforehand, watching their old YouTube videos, kind of focusing on their latest accomplishments, so we get an idea of what their robot will be able to do, maybe a little bit better than their last event. So trying to come up with a kind of a plan. You can usually tell whether you have a chance of winning a match or not ahead of time. For instance, in our second match, we're with 2451, which is one of our top shooters in our field. So our game plan for that match is, okay, how can we show that we're a complementary robot to one of those top shooters, right? So what can we do to work with 2451 to maximize our score in that match so that they can maybe possibly look at us maybe later on in picking. And then we go against 195 later on in the competition, which is another top shooter on our field. They won the New England State Championship over there on the East Coast, over 125, which is also on our field. So it's going to be really interesting to see, okay, what kind of strategies can we use? Can we show that we can, outroute some of these top teams, right? What can we do against a shooter? What can we do? Show them how we do it back here in Michigan, right?
That's right. So, get a little attitude. Get a little attitude in there.
Right. So it's going to be really interesting to see how we do that. Now we also have a strong presence in the conferences there as well. We schedule our kids pretty intently. We have an actual schedule of what they're doing all the time at the event. We put this in place about 5 years ago. The students, it never fails. We go to an event, and I watched this happen when I first joined Trucked Out Thunder. We'd go to an event, and the kids would walk. If you've ever seen a kid walk intently with a purpose, with nothing to do, right? Because they really want to be involved, but they have absolutely no idea how to contribute, right? I've seen this happen. I see this with kids all the time. They just need a kind of a point in direction where they can contribute to the entire team winning at a competition. So what we've done, we've developed over time the schedule. We call our student schedule. So we break it up. We actually stole this from the engineers who originally got it from Team Rush. So it's kind of been passed around a little bit. We call it, I think he said it earlier, steal from the best and fake the rest, right? So yeah. So we use this method, which gives the kids large breaks during the day. So they know when they're scouting, they know when they're not scouting. So they know they've got at least 2 to 3 hours of a break coming at some point during the event that they can go and check out a conference. And they also communicate. We assign what we call a scouting manager, which is a person who keeps track of the stands and the scouting method. So that manager is basically there to work out the kinks, right? So if a student really wants to go to a conference and they speak up to the scouting manager and the adults can help them sort that out. So our team has quite a bit of freedom to go and attend things whenever they want. I encourage the conferences. They don't always dig into them. I do end up inviting students to some of the ones that I think are important. I tend to go Wednesday night to conferences. If you notice on the conference list that Wednesday night, some of the bigger conferences are there, the ones that talk about leadership. The ones are from some of the bigger teams. I'll give you an example. 33 will present on Wednesday night because Jim is competing the rest of the event, right? Yep. So you can get Karthik usually presents on Wednesday night. I didn't see him on the schedule this year. I got a feeling I know why. He's probably tired from the Vex Championships, but I never missed that. That was always something that really helped me wrap my head around how to show the kids how to be strategic. So really focusing in on that Wednesday night is when I go do conferences, while the rest of them are in the pits getting the robot ready and that sort of thing.
Well, sounds like you have a busy schedule coming. I know those conferences. I did one myself on scouting at Michigan State Championships. I thank you to the Fighting Pie for inviting me to do it on behalf of 70 and 494. I had a blast. I mean, there was not a seat that was empty in the place. People were sitting all over the place, and it was just a nice way to jive with other, students and mentors talking about scouting, and it was a lot of fun when I was there.
While you brought up conferences, I might as well do a shout out or an advertisement or a PSA, whatever you want to call it. On June 24th, we will be hosting a mentor camp at Kettering University on Saturday, June 24th. It's going to be basically a mentor conference for mentors by mentors. It's a great way to get. We did this last year for the first time, and it went over really well. We had 100 people participate. A lot of presentations from some of the top teams across the state. They all get together and they basically discuss some of the things. And the background of this conference is let's all come without the students so we don't have to worry about what they're doing, and we can all learn from each other and how to best interact with students. There's a lot of, because I know part of my struggles over the time, and what I did some of my graduate work on was how to form relationships with kids. And it's hard, right? So, and especially for, we get, you get an engineer that's been working 30 years in engineering, and now all of a sudden he's got to have a relationship with a high school student. That doesn't always work out so well, right? So I want to get the kids out of the way so that the adults can sit down and talk about what it is that relationship looks like and how we can better serve our students. And then they can speak candidly on that relationship and talk about how they can be better at doing that. So I strongly encourage anyone that's interested in coming into F.I.R.S.T or has been doing it for years if they want to present. I'm going to be starting organizing the committee probably right after Worlds here. I might even get some emails out during Worlds or this week before we leave to try to get some proposals in to find out who's going to present. Last year we had Kyle Hughes come. We had the Frog Force come to talk about how to grow your program. And no one grows, and I try to get the best presenters in every area, right? Frog Force, they had 77 FLL teams at one time. Are you kidding me? Like, that's just crazy. No one recruits and forms teams better than Frog Force and Tammy Damrath and her crew, right? Like, that's what I call it. And it's just unbelievable some of the things that are great. Like 862, they have a volunteer at every event in Michigan. They actually strive for that. They literally have an adult mentor from 862 at every event in Michigan.
Wow.
So how do they do that? How do they get parents to do that? How do they get mentors to do that? So I had them come speak last year on how they did that.
Did it involve Kool-Aid?
This year,
drinking the Kool-Aid? Because that sounds like the kind of thing.
Oh yeah, exactly. One I already talked to this year. I went to this. This is awesome. Howell Robotics, Scottspots. They do this. It's called Quartermania. They have a 501c3 that they started with their parent group, and they've started forming youth teams. Well, they needed a fundraise for these teams, right? And they didn't like bingo. Bingo was kind of cliche, I guess, and you get a certain crowd for bingo, I guess. I have no idea why they did this, but they did a completely different take on a kind of a gambling night that was really kind of cool and creative, called Quartermania. And so I'm going to get them to come present on how they did that, how they have that 501c3 for the youth program. I just kind of think of the ways that people like to learn and to kind of grow their programs and how to work better with students.
Well, I got one more for you guys, and then I'll let you guys go. It's Sunday night. We got a busy, week ahead of us here. Go take home a giant blue banner from Worlds and bring it back here to Michigan. So, John, what do you think we're going to see at Worlds? I mean, do you think, and I want you to be honest, do you think a Michigan team's going to bring home Worlds or at least be on one of the alliances that comes home from Worlds with a blue banner?
Yeah, I would say multiple Michigan teams will be on key alliances. What happens there, you can only control what you do. And alliances matter, as everyone knows. They matter. And you can't always control what happens to the bot and what happens to the other robots out on the field. I think, looking at the Michigan State Championship with all the teams there, that's the toughest field there is. Going into Worlds, some get there on the wait list, some get there in other ways. But when it comes down to the elimination matches, and it comes down to, what really counts, there's going to be some strong Michigan teams there, is what I can say. And they have probably one of the best chances to be able to take home, field and Einstein championships. I'll leave it at that.
And you want to add anything onto that, Don?
Yeah, I think we have a good group of Michigan teams going that are quite capable of winning Einstein. So and taking it. It'll be interesting to see how we all perform and what alliances we can put together. So I think there's enough good teams going that, yes, I agree that there probably will be a Michigan team on the winning alliance.
And just to spin it off in a different direction for you, Andy, so you can answer it, do you think that a Michigan team, if they're like the number 1 or number 2 seed, is more likely to pick a Michigan team because we already know what we can do together?
That's a very good question. You know, I think back to 2009 when we had when we were in Einstein and had 3 Michigan teams on our alliance, the Bears, and 217 in 2009, and we went all the way to the finals. So it has happened before. It can happen again. I'll be honest with you, things are played different in Michigan, and they play it differently for a reason. Things happen when you are working with teams from other areas. We know how to play together. We know how to win this game. We know how to play defense together. We know things like when you're in the elimination rounds and it's working, you don't change it. You stick with what's working. Never forget one year we were on Einstein and we happened to be the 4th robot. We were the number 6 in OPR on our field, and it was really frustrating because we were actually we were the best shooter on our alliance, and all of the teams agreed individually, but nobody would sit to let us play, right? And it was really funny to watch this all go down. The captain actually was probably the least capable robot on our alliance, and they wouldn't sit, they wouldn't take the seat to let the team that can come in and shoot the best, right? So what happened was first match, we lose, we get slaughtered, right? They can't hold on. It was 2014 with the big ball. They'd get hit, they'd lose the ball. Well, you know, Michigan teams, you get hit, you don't lose the ball, right? Like, they lost the ball every time. So they put us in. Guess what? We won, right? We had made the agreement that if we didn't win the first one, that we would go in for the captain. We went in and we won. But in Michigan, what would happen then? It's really simple. You just keep that alliance together and you keep playing that way, right? It worked. So you stick with it. Well, they pulled us. The captain wouldn't sit the last match, and they lost, dramatically. This is one, this goes into my argument. I have this argument with teams a lot over whether to have a student or an adult drive coach. This was an example where having all students making the decisions except me, I was the only adult on the alliances with drive coaches, that the students would not take the seat. They wanted to be the one that went out there and won. This is one of the examples I use when deciding whether to have an adult or a student as a drive coach. You can go back last year to the state championships. I think it was either states or worlds. 573 as an adult drive coach. They were the captain of the alliance, but they realized that they were not the best robot in their alliance, and they sat themselves as captains. I'm not 100% sure a student will make that decision and do what's best for the alliance. So those are some anecdotal things that come through Michigan, and I would argue that Michigan teams know how to win, and I think you would be hard pressed if there was a Michigan team next to another team and they were really close, right? And which one you were going to pick? I'm telling you what, I'm going to want to pick that Michigan team.
I do agree with you. I think there is big differences between a drive coach that's an adult and a drive coach that is a student or a younger adult that may not know what to do. So you gave a really good representation of how that can affect things. So thank you for that. So guys, I want to thank you for all the time you've given me tonight, for what you've given me this season so far for the podcast. I'm going to put you on the hook for out of season podcast because we're doing this year round. So better get ready. I'm sure, there'll be burnout, and then you guys will get, the hunger back that you want to start doing it again. So I will count on that. And I know if I call Andrew, he's just going to pick up the phone and talk for half an hour. So we're good. I could sit back, ask one question, and then let him go. So that was another joke you guys didn't laugh at, but whatever.
I'm going to remember that.
Go ahead. I'm leaving this in the podcast too, so everyone else can hear it. But I want to thank all you guys. For participating this season. And as you guys sign off, just tell us who you are, what team you're from, and how we can follow you on social media. John, we'll start with you.
John Wolfert, Team 1506 Metal Muscle out of Kettering University, and I'll leave it at that.
All right, I'll go next. Don Ridge, mentor, drive coach, Team 1506 Metal Muscle. I think we're on Twitter, Mutts1506. So follow us there.
And finally, you, Andrew.
All right, Andrew Spieces from Trucktown Thunder Robotics out of Brandon Holly High School. Find us on trucktownthunder.com. We've got 13 forms of social media. Go ahead and pick one.
Overachiever.
Like one thing, hey, it's my kids. What do you want me to say? One thing I always say to teams at Worlds is, I'll see you at Einstein.
Well, I'll see all you guys at Einstein, right? So.
Well, it'd be good to go against you.
Yeah, I look forward to going
Or
against
with
you guys.
you.
Or with you, whatever it takes, man. Let's just go bring a blue banner home. I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you. I'll see you guys in St. Louis in a couple days. Have a great night.
The Robozone podcast is brought to you by Kettering University. It's a Kettering-built world. Thanks for listening to the Robozone podcast with your host, Pete Ekman. Find us online at robozonetv.com and on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram.